Try the DQ Reese's Extreme Blizzard and take Reese's and DQ love to a whole new level. DQ. Happy tastes good.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Day.
Happy birthday to you.
So earn unlimited cash back for going out or staying in with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Unhappy at your job? You don't really have a career, you have a job, or maybe you're out of work altogether? Listen to me. You can start a new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months from the comfort of your own home, even if you have zero computer experience. Sound too good to be true? Go to mycomputercareer.edu. Take the free career evaluation today. Live online classes. Meet just twice a week. Financial aid, including the GI Bill, is available to those who qualify. It's not rocket science. It's My Computer Career.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama.
Alabama!
Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
Looks like we still got a slow go on 565 eastbound just east of I-65. Had a wreck in there earlier. Looks like still some slowdown. Still getting reports of a wreck I-65 northbound at the ramp to go westbound on Highway 20. Got a couple in Morgan County, 36 East and Lane Road and 67 to south of Brewer High School. You get 3 pieces of the crispy tender chicken and a buttermilk biscuit in Popeye's 3-piece snack. Only $4.99 at Popeye's University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
From the WZDX Pinpoint Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Isolated showers are going to be possible once again this afternoon. Still, with that in mind, we get to enjoy plenty of sunshine. Temperatures a bit below seasonal norms. Highs only climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We should be in the lower 90s this time of year. Dropping into the upper 60s and lower 70s through the overnight early into your Friday morning. Not going to be as cool as it has been the last couple of mornings. More cloud cover on Friday. Friday looks like it's going to bring the best opportunity for a little more in the way of widespread rain. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Simple Green is perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new. Visit them at simplegreen.com.
Tonight, the annual Hall of Fame game in Canton returns after being canceled last year due to COVID. The Steelers and the Cowboys, with numerous starters expected to be out, Dak Prescott among them. The line has moved slightly in favor of the Steelers, now a 2-point favorite, the over-under 33. Go bowling at the Glen. The final sprint before the NASCAR playoffs began. Chase Elliott, the odds-on favorite at Watkins Glen International Sunday. Elliott plus 200, followed by Kyle Larson at plus 450. Martin Truex Jr. at plus 650. YouTube sensation turned warrior of the ring, Logan Paul, will face MMA legend Anderson Silva probably in September. Nothing official yet. Silva named the favorite, minus 240. Paul plus 180.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Welcome to Talkin Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And just like that, we're off and running. It is our Thursday edition of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. A crisp and cool 66 degrees outside this morning.
Loving it.
It is just makes you just want to stand and know high school football is coming up, college football is coming up. When it's 66 degrees outside, it feels so good.
Loving the dew on the car, man. But I got to tell you, thank the Lord for a leave. It really helps.
You are in the midst of a move.
not a small one.
And yes, and it is ongoing, and it's still ongoing, and it will be. And I feel for you because anytime you move, it is awful. And you have had a long
It's been
long
2+
stretch.
weeks, but it feels like 3 months.
Yes, and your body feels like even more.
Oh, I'm telling you, brother.
You don't want to look at a box. You don't want to look at anything.
Right.
But we are going to look at some boxes, and we are going to unpack some things.
I feel like Wes Neighbors when Reggie White picked him up off the ground.
Oh, we are going to unpack some things because our good listener,
yes,
Brandon, has come through, and Brandon calls us in a lot on the show, and he is not from Huntsville. He is from the Georgia area.
But a big Alabama fan.
Yes,
know that.
And he has called us, but he has sent some packages in here.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to do that. Hold on, I'm going to wreck my pen here. We're going to open these packages up because Brandon wanted us to do this.
Well,
and,
I wasn't thinking to. I should have gone and got us a knife or something here, but
well, here, just use that pin.
Yeah.
We're literally doing this live. It makes for great live radio, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
So we're opening these up courtesy of Brandon this morning. While the way, we are watching Team USA on the baseball diamond take on Korea. They are leading 2-1 in the bottom of the 6th. If Team USA is able to hold on here, they will move into the gold medal game. So that is something we're keeping an eye on. That is going on right now with the Olympics. We'll have more Olympic updates coming for you later in the show.
Oh, my goodness, man. You don't get trophies every day. I ain't got a trophy in 20-plus years.
You have a trophy.
Yeah.
What's the trophy for?
Talkin Bal Moron of the Year Award. Given by Drew DeArmond and Scott Tyson. Knock, knock. Hello, moron.
So we are going to have to give the Moron of the Year award. And then, oh, my goodness. Oh, this is an ESPN 97.7 The Zone Talking Ball Moron of the Year award given by Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Moron of the Year 2020, Dan Woken.
Oh, this is unbelievable.
It is a
Woken. Did he spell it Woken?
W-O-L-K. He spelled it he spelled it how his name's supposed to be spelled.
Well, I would have spelled it the other way.
But look, we have a plaque now to hang up in the studio that we can give the Moron of the Year award to.
Well, that's 2020 though. This one's 2021, isn't it?
Well, this is 20. So Dan Woken definitely got it in 2020.
Yeah, so this will be for next year.
Yeah, so we'll have to come up by the end of the year. We will come up with somebody new.
This to somebody.
This is awesome.
Awesome.
This is good. We actually now can commemorate the Moron.
Hey, make sure the camera gets that.
Yeah. See, look, we'll have to we will take a picture of this. And we will make sure that we put this up here on Twitter.
We have a horse ass right here. So, if I had known this, I would have had Chad have the soundbite ready from Smokey and the Bandit at the very end of Smokey and the Bandit 1, where, of course, my guy Buford tells Junior, apprehend that horse ass for reckless driving.
Oh, anyway, I would take a picture of it, but I forgot my phone at home.
Right.
So I am rendered useless right now. But anyway, this is great. Brandon gives us the Moron of the Year award, and Dan Woken takes home the first prize.
Oh, and that was easy.
But it says though, useless woke. I'll let you read what he put on the plaque because we're not going to be able to read that on the air.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh. Anyway, yes, now you get it.
Very, very succinctly put there.
Yes,
yes. Our good friend.
All right, let's go to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Jeff from the Borough with us this morning. Good morning, Jeff.
How you doing, guys?
Doing
morning,
good,
brother.
Well, the drama don't cease in the Power 5 conference. The Ohio Valley Conference taking 2 schools to court, ain't they? Eastern Kentucky and Richmond, and Mr. Jacksonville State and Alabama, because they don't want to pay the exit fees to get out of the league. $1 billion, you got to give 2 years' notice. In the bylaws, they only gave 6 months. They don't want to pay the exit fees, so OVC's taking them to court. They're going to pay the fees. That's the bullshit when they had the meeting that they agreed to the buyouts and the terms of it. Now they don't want to pay. They don't want to pay the fees now, so they're going to court to get them. And I hope she gets every penny of it with interest from both schools. One shot to be, she hates to lose. They used to lose is Eastern Kentucky because they're a founding member of the league. if I was her in Jacksonville State, I'd go to that Sykes guy and say, give me $1 million and get the heck out of here. Why they joined the OVC in the first place? I don't know why they even joined it. Now they go into Atlantic Sun. Well, I know why they joined football. That's the only thing they've got. They've got nothing else. They won the men's basketball tournament once. Everything else they're not even good at. They don't win the OVC and anything else. And they've never won an FCS championship either. Eastern Kentucky has years ago, 2 of them. Roy Kidd's one of the greatest coaches in OVC history, over 300 wins. That's the first thing. So Drummond's not limited to the Power 5 schools. So maybe Jacksonville State can scrounge up $1 million somewhere and pay it. And Eastern Kentucky can too. But and number 2, the guy was calling yesterday about me in Kentucky, and you talk about God why I say poor Kentucky all the time. The reason why is because people like you from Iowa that comes down here and moves to Alabama says Kentucky has a ceiling in football. Now, if Kentucky has a ceiling in football, then Alabama's got one in men's basketball. They've never been to a Final Four. Auburn won, Alabama 0 in the Final Fours. And Auburn has one of the greatest basketball players. He never won a title, but Charles Barkley's in the Hall of Fame. Greg Turner played there also. Okay? The greatest basketball player in Alabama is Robert Horry. The rest of them, they don't even touch the rest of them. Okay?
Okay, so what's your point? So I moved down here to Alabama because of what? I mean, what's your point?
Well, I guess the weather. I guess you got tired of bad football up there in Iowa or northern Iowa. If they had football.
Jeff, there's one thing you shouldn't be talking about. It's bad football. You've seen a lot of it with some ass whipping.
But it was a realistic question yesterday. What is the ceiling for Kentucky football? What is the ultimate ceiling?
I'll tell you this: Alabama's basketball
football
ceiling is a lot higher than Kentucky football, brother, and you're about to see it. You might get another whooped ass this year if you don't zip your mouth.
We might, but let's see y'all make a Final Four, win a national championship, then you can start.
We'll see. They haven't yet.
Don't even run your mouth. They haven't.
You already started running your mouth. Shut your mouth and get off the radio, clown.
We'll see y'all.
Shut up. Get off. You're, as a good friend of mine just tweeted or texted, you're off to a great case for 2021 Moron of the Year, and we'll definitely put you on here, you piece of trash. Shut up and go away. You come in here trying to start a fight every morning. I'll win it every time.
I just don't understand the point, though.
Zip
I mean,
it.
there was no point.
There was no point to your call, as usual. It was baseless. Jacksonville State will be out of that league.
Well, they are out of the league, and I get it. I get it. The OVC is going to try to get money out of it. What's going to happen? This is going to go to court. They're going to go back and forth between each other. Jacksonville State will pay an exit fee. Will they pay the full $1 million? Probably
It'll be
not.
negotiated.
Exactly. It's going to go through court. It's going to get negotiated, and it's going to get settled down.
So a moron take from Jeff. Great way to start the show, pal.
I mean, and it was a legitimate question the other day. What is a legitimate ceiling for Kentucky football?
It is.
I mean, they won 10 games. They're won 10 games. Right.
I'm not bad-mouthing them. I'm just stating facts. And Jeff stated facts. Alabama basketball has not made the Final Four. They have not reached the highest level. He's 100% correct. I'm not saying he's not. But I do think Alabama has the capability of making a Final Four in basketball before Kentucky ever sniffs a football playoff.
Or even an SEC championship.
Or, an SEC championship. Call me back when you even played in one SEC football championship game instead of watching them on TV after you lose 66-3, or I'm sorry, maybe it was 62-3 last year. I forget, when the fourth string was in there whipping the ever-loving snot out of Kentucky.
If Kentucky,
and by the way, who I like a lot, Jeff tries to put words in my mouth because he's a fool. I mean, I like Kentucky's football program. I'm a fan of Mark Stoops. I'm a huge fan of John Summerall.
Yes.
Despite what you hear from this idiot that just called in on the show, that has earwax in his ears and can't comprehend words.
If Kentucky wins 10 football games, 11 football games, it's a remarkable season. It's, oh my goodness, this is great, this is great. But we don't sit here and talk about Kentucky winning 10, 11 games as an expectation every year, because that program is not at that crossroads yet.
I mean, good grief. What Mark Stoops has done is remarkable in 9 years, because when Joker Phillips was there, Freddie Maggard has joined our show and told us, and he played for Jerry Claiborne, was a great player at Kentucky, won games there. It was as bad as a freaking, as he put it, we're talking about Ohio University talent level. We're talking about Miami of Ohio, a MAC level.
Yes.
And now they're competing and turning out pros. It's great. But then you, again, like I say, man, let's get the show going in a better direction.
It's hard. It's easy to do.
I mean, Jeff ran it into the ditch to start the show. But he's good at that, though, depending on whether he took his medication or not.
Oh, anyway.
I did all this without cussing. Very little.
I did this without cussing very little.
Yeah, there was no FCC violations. And
90% of the time, 90% of the time, it works every single time.
I was close a couple times.
Anyway, we are off and running. In case you missed it, a big thanks to Brandon for sending in the
and he did all this. This was not planned.
Yes, this was not planned. We did not ask for this, and we appreciate it. But we will hang the plaque
up. Jeff
up.
is off to a great start at being the 2021 Moron of the Year.
There's a lot of candidates for the Moron of the Year award right now. I mean, realistically, Kevin Warren from the Big Ten would have to be on that list, I would think.
Oh, Lord.
It takes a lot to get on the list, but
yeah.
Kevin Warren up there with the Big Ten would probably have to be one of the big guys up there. All right, let's go with something positive because we need something positive after that. The Atlanta Braves, Drew, are at the 500 mark of the season, 54-54. They're 2.5 games back of the Mesa.
9 games. They lost 9 straight when given that chance. And I thought it was interesting strategy last night. Rodriguez, who you know has come over from the Pirates, Scott.
Right.
They used him in the 5th inning to basically try to stem the tide once the Braves took the lead, and it became a bullpen game.
They won consecutive games for the first time since the All-Star break. They've clinched a series. They snapped a string of 9 consecutive losses in games when they had a chance to get to 500. Now, they could move above 500 for the first time this season. Not since the All-Star break, but for the season today with a sweep over the St. Louis Cardinals. They are just 2.5 games out of the lead. Here's Brian Snitker after the game.
We were just in there kind of as you review what happened. It's like they all had a big part in a big win today. All of them. It's really good. It's very encouraging. It's good for those guys to, step in and be a part and help us win a game, and a tough game too. My God, that's a really good win for us. And like I say, all the guys that we acquired were all instrumental in making that happen.
So they're going to need those guys that they acquired. Jock Peterson, Adam Duvall.
Jock's been great, man. I'm telling you, he's really been a spark plug from the top of the order. And I know your boy, you know him well, Jorge Soler.
Yeah.
He's given them some power there, some more consistency. And then Duvall, I think that's another situation where Anthopoulos probably never should have gotten rid of him. But they didn't know what was going to happen with Ozuna, and he was going to go in the tank for the whole season, basically. So some really good moves. I was critical of Alex Anthopoulos, and some of the things but I think at the trade deadline, he did about as good a job as anybody. They reshaped their outfield, and now their bullpen's a little bit deeper. They still need the starting rotation to straighten itself out. They need to get Ian Anderson healthy here, and get him back in a rhythm, and get a few more innings out of Smiley. But so far, so good. If they could get the sweep today, it would be huge in St. Louis. Of course, I know you wouldn't lose any sleep over that. But, I think the Braves right now, this is not a good division this year, okay? Everybody understands that. But even through all the BS that's gone on, the Braves have a chance to win.
The reason why Jeff is so cranky is because all the Chicago Cubs that were traded away are now performing well. Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant,
and I say that in all
Jock
seriousness.
Peterson.
I know you're a Cub fan, but they're just not very good.
No, they're not right now, and they're
rebuilding.
They're rebuilding.
Totally
yes,
blowing it up.
Yes, they are. Javier Baez of the Mets. Every one of them are performing well. That may be why Jeff is so cranky, because all the old Cubs are doing so well, and it's just irritating him so much. He had to unload on us this morning, so that's why. But anyway, the Braves 54-54 drew 6-4 in their last 10. Yeah. Amazingly, the Mets have had every opportunity to run away with this division, and they have not done so. Every opportunity to run away with this division.
Well, and then even with all the injuries, I'll give Alex Anthopoulos credit. They did not throw in the towel. And I think a big part of it was they were fortunate that the Mets couldn't, or the Phillies, distance themselves. Now it's quite a race, Scott. Even the Marlins are in this thing. I mean, pretty much everybody in the division's in the race.
The Nationals are 10 games below 500.
Except for the Nationals. I mean, they're numbers.
They're 7.5 games back, though.
Well, that is pretty stunning. But yeah.
The Marlins are 10.5 games back.
Okay. Well,
the Nats are 10 games under 500, but just 7.5 games out of the division.
So I guess that is correct. I mean, everybody technically is still in it when you're only 10 games back. Now, I think we understand with their rosters that the Nationals and the Marlins really aren't.
Well, the Nationals traded Max Scherzer, so I mean they threw in the towel.
And he
10 Ks last night in his Dodgers debut.
Last night with the hated Dodgers, wasn't there? $300 million payroll or whatever the hell it is. But I mean,
they're the Yankees of
the National League.
Yeah, they're the George Steinbrenner 1990 Yankees, where you just go out and acquire anybody and everybody, regardless of salary. If they're good, you're going to go get them, and that's the LA Dodgers at this point.
Right.
All right, it's 7:20. We need to get a break in because when we come back, we need to talk some high school football, another positive thing to the show. Rich Dutton, the new head coach of the Grissom Tigers. We're going to continue our high school preview. We're bouncing around the city this week. We're going to check in with the Grissom Tigers, see how the new-look Tigers starting to get their growl.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Looks like we still got a slow go on 565 eastbound just east of I-65. Had a wreck in there earlier. Looks like still some slowdown. Still getting reports of a wreck I-65 northbound at the ramp to go westbound on Highway 20. Got a couple in Morgan County, 36 East and Lane Road and 67 to south of Brewer High School. You get 3 pieces of the crispy tender chicken and a buttermilk biscuit in Popeye's 3-piece snack. Only $4.99 at Popeye's University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
If you need a car, McCurry Motors is ready to put you in a quality vehicle, and in-house financing is available. If you have a job, McCurry Motors will work with you even if you have a bankruptcy, divorce, or bad credit. Visit McCurrySaysYes.com. Every car comes with a warranty, and they report to the credit bureau. With 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens, call 256-230-0232, or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville. Call 256-713-0575.
In 2 years, you can have a career that makes sense for you. Skill up and earn a living working with your hands, or work on the front line of computer information systems and cybersecurity. Get a degree that lets your healing heart take care of people. Help design and manufacture the most advanced cars, machinery, or even aerospace components. In just 2 years, great careers are within your reach at Drake State Community and Technical College. Visit drakestate.edu to apply.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
I can pop a beer in here, right? Your cousin from Boston. This here is Sam Adams Boston Lager. It's my go-to beer. Not too heavy, not too light. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh, that's whoopsie daisy. Oh no. Is there somebody that can help? Come on in the room. It poured right in the keyboard. Relax. I spill beer on my computer all the time. Sam Adams Boston Lager. The Boston Beer Company, Boston, Massachusetts. Drink responsibly.
Drinking coffee straight from the pot. Power move. Wearing a bathrobe to work. Power move. Switching to super fast, extra reliable internet from WOW. Power move. Switch and save with WOW internet for just $19.99 a month. It's switching season, so make a move with our best deal of the year. Get the speed you need starting with Internet 100 for just $19.99 a month. Plus, ask how to get $200 on us. Sign up at wowway.com today. Wow. Limited to new customers with auto pay and paperless billing. Offer subject to change. Restrictions and terms apply.
From the WZDX Pinpoint Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Isolated showers are going to be possible once again this afternoon. Still, with that in mind, we get to enjoy plenty of sunshine. Temperatures a bit below seasonal norms. Highs only climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We should be in the lower 90s this time of year. Dropping into the upper 60s and lower 70s through the overnight early into your Friday morning. Not going to be as cool as it has been the last couple of mornings. More cloud cover on Friday. Friday looks like it's going to bring the best opportunity for a little more in the way of widespread rain. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Roll Tide, War Eagle, and you, the Vols fan. We got it all covered on the Tom Abraham Show.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Chuck Oliver. Listen to me coming up at noon today. Now, back to Talkin Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All right, it is indeed Talkin Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. And Al Copeland on Twitter, Drew says, give Jeff the trophy now. His moron game is just strong. So you make a call like that, you do get picked on. So that's as simple as that. Coming up here in just a few minutes, we are going to talk some Grissom Tiger football. Chip English made the move in the offseason to take over the Albertville Aggies, and we'll preview a lot of teams going on the eastward way coming up a little bit later in the next couple weeks as we get you ready for more high school football. But this week we're focusing on teams here in the Rocket City. We have visited with Columbia High School. We visited with Lee High School. We visited with Mae Jemison High School.
What an epic conversation that was with the great Harold Wells.
That was great. Now today, going to focus on the 7A, one of the 7A teams in the city.
Yeah, we're going to focus on the Grissom Tigers. As we already said, 4 years from Chip English. He gets them to the playoffs last year in 7A Region 4. Huge step, first time since the early 2000s that happened. He is now off to Albertville. He will still be in 7A Region 4, but we certainly wish him all the luck in the world and in his new journey for his family in Marshall County. But we are very fortunate to have the new head coach of the Grissom Tigers, and he did a great job at his alma mater, Lawrence County High School, reaching the playoffs 4 times in his tenure there in a program that he was able to rebuild and make very competitive during his time there. And he was going to have the same goal to continue what was started under Chip English at Grissom and put his own stamp on the Grissom Tigers, and that is Rich Dutton. And it's great to have him for the first time on the show this morning, since now he has been put in place as we have a lot of new blood in the city on the sideline in football coming up this fall. Coach, it's great to have you on the show. Thank you for taking the time. You're with Drew and Scott. How are you this morning?
Hey, glad y'all reached out. Glad to be here.
Well, Coach, let's talk about it. Exciting times for you, getting into 7A football right here in the Rocket City, Grissom Tigers. It's a big move.
It is. We've been excited. I was excited when Miss Greer reached out, researching the program, looking what they've done lately. Yeah, we're really excited to get this thing going.
And Coach, I mean, it had to be kind of a difficult decision though. You were at home. You were at Lawrence County, your alma mater, and you had done a really good job rebuilding that program in a place at times it hasn't been easy to win, but you were able to establish consistent playoff participation with the Red Devils. What went into your mindset to want to make this move and go up to the highest level in the state in football, and as you just said, kind of continue to expand the brand of Grissom and get it to winning consistently, like as Chip English got it kind of solidified there?
Well, life is short, and I appreciate the time that Lawrence County gave me to try to build that into a competitive program. And what I've found joy in this career is when you start building you have coaches underneath you become head coaches. And Grissom was very open about allowing that to continue and start getting some young coaches with a lot of promise in, so we can start building some things that when you retire, you can watch these guys carry on. So that was a major piece of this puzzle.
Yeah, you come to Grissom. Chip English helped kind of resurrect this program a little bit, got it going in the right direction. Now you come in and now you get to take the reins and try to build on what was already being built there at Grissom.
Yes, sir. Coach English and his staff did a really good job of getting these kids' emotional confidence up, where they felt like in any game they had a chance to win it. Coming in beneath him, what we're looking at now is how to build that 7-8 stability in your second offense, your second defense. Try to make sure we're building this thing for a long-term run.
Yeah, that's a great point, Coach, and there's no doubt about it. And it's going to be a huge challenge, but it's one you're excited to take on. I talk about the staff you've been able to put together. I know Coach English had a really good one. I know you were that was one of the first things on your agenda when you got officially named the head football coach there. But tell the listeners about your staff and some of the guys that's working under you now at Grissom.
All right. Well, the defensive coordinator is Dylan Livingston. He was the DB coach at Sparkman last season. He played for me at the first year at Lawrence County.
Nice.
The offensive coordinator is Brandon Osborne. He also was run game heavy, involved at Sparkman High School. He also played on that first Lawrence County team. I was able to bring the running back coach in from Lawrence County who came up from Wisconsin, Michael Vanderplug. We got Terrence Galloway, who was down South Mississippi, played running back at Mississippi State. He's doing running backs now. Coach Vanderplug's doing receivers now. We got Khalid Perry on, who was at Bob Jones last year. He's doing our outside backers. Josh Walters, who was at Madison County last year, doing inside backers. We got Matt Jones, a Grissom alum, involved in the offensive line. Coach Brinkley, who's been at Grissom for a long time, running the freshman program and being involved in the kicking game. And I'm trying to make sure, I think I've covered the varsity group.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. I hope it is.
Oh, that's all good,
Yeah.
Coach. I mean, it's just great that you're getting a lot of your former players, and as you said, helping young coaches kind of develop a career in the game.
Oh, it's so important. This career has been enjoyable. It's a challenge-based career, and you're judged probably more deep than most careers you could think of. In the fact, your media, your parents, your crowd. Lawrence County again was so fun for the challenge, and I truly believe this is going to be equally challenging and fun, and hopefully build some careers that we can enjoy once my time's up and watch these guys carry on.
Well, let's talk about the style of play that people will be seeing on Friday nights.
Well, the generic answer is whatever's needed that night. I looked at the Coleman game from last year. That's such a tough opener because the coach Glasgow does a great job in the weight room and their offense. It's a lot like Coach Hughes at East Limestone. They're going to lay on you, wear you out. We want to have some. We want to run a normal offense. I would say we got two quarterbacks fighting it out for the starting spot right now, and Renzo Crutcher and Landon Curry. But we also want to be able to have a tough offense that will lay on them as well. Should we have to stay some legs, in the third and fourth quarter to give the defense a little bit of a break. Defensively, we have a lot of great players turning in the box, especially. So defensively, 3-man, 4-man front versus Coleman. Obviously, the style is so different that your defense will be the old school type, mini lineman type deal. So honestly, it's going to be whatever's needed.
Well, and, Coach, it's good to be multiple, no doubt about it. And then we've talked to the coaches about this week as well throughout the city. Numbers are very important, and Grissom's had a lot of enthusiasm football-wise built in the last 4 years. That playoff run last year was tremendous. Now you've taken over, and, of course, you've been working the halls and getting to know the players. What is the number situation right now at Grissom?
Very encouraging. We just had to put another order in for 25 more helmets and shoulder pads.
There you go.
Heard from the middle school coach yesterday. He's got to come over and get some gear. And, it's a tough time of the year to be facing all that, but what a great problem. So yeah, we have good numbers, and like I said, the goal here now is to build that depth. 7A is such a tough setup that you better have, I would say 30 per class, and have a system that builds those guys up, not just your top tier guys. That's what we've come in extremely focused on.
Well, obviously, you're no stranger to North Alabama football, no stranger to region play. But you look at this 7A region, Coach, it's a little daunting.
It is. You know, one of the cool stats I like about this is there are 3 7A coaches in this region from Lawrence County. And that's kind of neat seeing the White brothers. You know, I've been around these guys, followed their careers, and worked with Kelvis, back at Russellville. But yes, you have an extremely talented region. Kelvis, he does a great job. And Bob Jones, I know those guys are going to be ready. And LaRon at Spartman, they're going to be a weight room defense-based type program. James Clemens, always going to be extremely talented. Albertville is going to have some new energy. Florence looks like they're doing really well. Who am I missing in this region?
Yeah, and there's no doubt, Coach. It's a tough one, and have you? I know you've already probably been
Huntsville.
Yes, I was going to say you're gonna. I'm sure you had some rivalries over there at Lawrence County, but I'm sure they've told you about that game as well. And we didn't have it last year, so it's going to be even more intense this season, I think.
Yeah, yes, sir. The players have a lot of energy on that. I'm hearing a lot. They talk after hours. That name always comes up, and I know Coach Fleetwood's got a lot of experience behind him, so that should be a very entertaining game.
No question about it. And, Coach, for our listeners who are getting ready to see some Grissom football this fall, I know we're not going to give it away schematically and what your plans are, but as far as guys that are grinding and you're looking forward to seeing them take the field offensively on that side of the ball, tell us about a few guys to you that are important for you guys to win football games that need to perform and some guys that have stood out in their preparation for your first year.
All right. Well, the biggest thing offensively, in the spring we lost Jersey Titko to an injury. That kid was running a 4A, lifting the side of the field house, and he was really doing well. So we hope that he gets a green light at some point in the season, but that was a big loss. But the front has a lot of really important players there. You have Tavion Larry, you have Austin Griffin, Stephen Krieger, and then we have a couple of spots guys battling out with Dylan Hott, Cole Lawson, Alex Austin. We talked about the quarterback spot. We got those 2 right there with Renzo and Curry fighting it out. But Isaiah Lawrence, sophomore, right behind them, and he's looking really good. The running backs, you got 3 guys with a lot of experience: Mark Howard, all seniors, Daquan Hood, and Caleb Hunt. As the receiver spots, these guys will be all new to this season. But you have a lot of speed and talent out there with Tariq Thaxton, Tristan Graham, Talib Clark, coming out from basketball. R.J. Johnson looking really good out there as well.
Yeah, that's really interesting, Coach. And as far as for R.J., I know he came out in the spring. It was he hasn't played at Grissom before. Is this his first experience with football?
I believe he played in middle school.
Oh, okay.
And those guys came out in the spring and tested the waters to see if they wanted to do it or not. And then R.J.'s come back with a serious grind. We're up there all hours and all weekends and whatever else. He's constantly out there in the sun getting his work in and seems to be highly motivated.
We're looking forward to that. What a great athlete he is.
Well, defensively, Coach, what are we going to look like?
Right. Defensively, you got one of the most special kids I've met in my career is Dietrich Jones. This kid is extremely smart, has a phenomenal GPA, has an amazing weight room ethic, and always wanting the extra work. He's carrying FCS offers right now. He's going to be anchoring the front with KD, Long, and Colin Lawson. The front's going to be very experienced. Inside the box, you got Martin McDonald doing really, really well right now. Coming in from Ohio, we've got another linebacker, Kyle Peasley. On the outside, a lot of experience, Jackson Boffinkamp, one of our leaders right there. The other outside linebacker is the fight, which is Jalen Evans, Lee Mack. The secondary is all new, kind of like the receivers. So you got T.Q. Williams, you have Tariq Evans, young Justice Poole, and the other safety, Moffitt, James Moffitt out there. And several guys. The secondary still got some room for depth changes, but right now that's who's been taking most of the 1 reps.
And, Coach, we're talking to Rich Dutton in the last few minutes with the Grissom Tigers' new head football coach. You talked about your opener at Coleman, not an easy place to play. Coach Glasscock does a great job there. But then your schedule's interesting. It's basically broken up into halves. You're going to have the open week in the middle on September the 24th, but you've got some city rivalries coming up right away. Your second week on Thursday, you're going to face Lee of Huntsville over at Milton Frank Stadium, and then Huntsville High and Sparkman, Albertville. Then that'll be an interesting game as well. Region game, Chip English against his old team. But talk about how the schedule kind of sets up for you.
Well, right now we're on Coleman, and focus right there. And your first two games are non-region games, so your first region opponent becomes a very important outlook too. And that being Huntsville makes it even. Is that right?
Yes.
That's Huntsville. So
yes, sir.
Honestly, you see, I haven't looked into it too far past Coleman at this point, and it's so different as you get rocking through the season. You get so much more film on teams, and injuries come into play and whatnot. So the view you have right now could be extremely different 3 weeks into the season. But Coleman being the first one, it's an interesting matchup. They have a unique style, and it's interesting to see how our kids are going to respond to that. The aggression of their play. Then Leah Huntsville, they got a really, I love their hire. He's going to do a good job there. Coach Judah, who was here at Grissom, is going over there with him. So I'm sure they're going to be priming, and that's the region I came from, so it's going to be fun to watch and see how they look. We didn't get to play Lee last year at Long County, but that game should be interesting. And obviously Huntsville, I know the community put a lot into that rivalry, so I'd like to get involved and kind of test the waters on that one. I have no idea what to expect on that one.
Well, it's intense, Coach. There's no doubt, but we are really looking forward to seeing your brand of football coming to the Huntsville City Schools and Grissom High School. Your first year coming over from the Lawrence County Red Devils and trying to get back-to-back playoff appearances for the Grissom Tigers, which would be just immeasurable for the program. But we appreciate it. Thank you for the time, and good luck against Coleman. That's the focus right now. Try to go 1-0 and get a win for our area going on the road, but on Thursday, August 19th. But we're looking forward to it, and thank you for joining us this morning for a few minutes.
Hey, guys, I appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Thanks. Rich Dutton joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. As you did mention, Drew, they opened up the season at Coleman. That is a Thursday night game. Then they get Lee Huntsville, and then Huntsville, then Sparkman, and Albertville. That is before their break. And then after the break, Austin, James Clemens, Bob Jones, Florence, and Hazel Green. So... And as he mentioned, it's a cool thing. 3 coaches from the Lawrence County area now in Class 7A. You had the White brothers, Sparkman, Bob Jones, and then him. So kind of an interesting feat there for that. So that is that. And coming up tomorrow, we will talk Huntsville High football as Mark Fleetwood will join the show. And I believe that gives us all of our city previews for the upcoming year.
Be 5 previews in. We look forward to talking to Coach Fleetwood. He does a great job at Huntsville High. They really got disrupted more than most schools last year. COVID was difficult, but Huntsville High really got affected by it. They had a talented senior class that really didn't get a chance to have the kind of year they wanted. So I know they're going to be hungry this year. A lot of good young talent in that program, and looking forward to talking to Coach Mark Fleetwood tomorrow.
Well, we just want to see the Huntsville-Grissom rivalry this year.
Yeah, we just want to see it played. Okay? Play the game. It means so much to both sides, and we didn't get a chance to see that a year ago.
All right. 256-576-4977. That's the number of the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. You can get a hold of us because we're going to take a break. We'll get to your phone calls after we take this break.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Just got a wreck on 565 eastbound your Wall Triana. They've updated that one to an injury type. It's going to take a few minutes to get it clear. Got one in Athens at Elm and Jefferson, maybe causing some problems. Overturned vehicle in Morgan County, 67 south of Brewer High School. Routine care to heart failure. Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialists have the expertise to care for all matters of the heart. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Take your taste buds back in time with a trip to the all-new Bubby's Diner, offering a variety of mouth-watering food, from delicious starters to 50-style diner food and meat and 3 meals, featuring owner and Huntsville native Chris Bubby Belcher's family's homemade recipes. Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at 8412 Whitesburg Drive in the former Gibson's Barbecue. And you can enjoy $50 worth of delicious Bubby's Diner food for half price with this week's Zone Deal. On sale now online at 977ESPN.com.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Sitting here with Mark Kent of Southern Fidelity Mortgage Group of Huntsville. Mark, do you help pre-qualify people?
We pre-qualify people all the time, Wes. As a matter of fact, I love having them coming in here because when they come in and they pre-qualify, they can leave my office knowing exactly how much they can buy and have no worries.
Mark, tell me about your rates and pricing.
Well, Wes, this is something we're really, really proud of. Long story short is, I love being able to provide the best pricing in town. Honestly, I cannot tell you the last time I lost a deal to either rate or pricing, something I'm very proud of.
So what all financing options do you have, Mark?
We do several different things. If you're purchasing a home, we can handle the purchase. If you're wanting to refinance your home, of course, rates are at the lowest they've been in the last 3 years. We do a lot of refinancing. If you're building a home, we can handle the entire process from breaking ground to the final close.
Do you sleep with your phone?
Wes, if you want to reach me, you can call me at my office phone, which is 256-562-1000. But always remember, I sleep with my cell phone at night. That number is 256-656-5936.
When the Braves take the field, count on your home for Atlanta Braves baseball to bring you every huge game.
1 pitches hit high in the air and deep to right field. Kiss it goodbye. Touch all 4 this time, Ozzie.
Tonight, Ozzie Albies and your Atlanta Braves battle it out with Matt Carpenter and the St. Louis Cardinals, live from Busch Stadium. Braves Radio goes on the air at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
This segment of Talkin Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
All right, 7:46 on this Thursday morning. Welcome back, Talking Ball. 97.7 ESPN, the Zone, 256-576-4977. That's the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. We want to hear from you this morning. We have got so much on the table. We did not get to even start it in the first half of the show because we had Jeff from the Borough call us. So that kind of ended everything right there. Yesterday, Drew, you brought up Big Cat Bryant.
Yes.
I went and found Big Cat Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
And Big Cat Bryant, of course, played for the Auburn Tigers and Gus Malzahn, transferred to UCF to finish his career and play his final year with Gus Malzahn. Big Cat Bryant met the media and brought up Auburn, but not in a good way.
Hey, UCF's had trouble getting SEC teams to play them. They don't want to play them for them. I'm just wondering, how does this roster stack up with SEC?
Right now?
Yeah.
I mean, we'll beat somebody like Auburn, for sure.
Like, it would be Auburn for sure. But like, no, man.
You didn't play in the Peach Bowl against UCF.
Yeah, I did.
Hey, did you?
Yeah, I did. I was a freshman. I was a freshman. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, it's a lot different. A lot of different, players and caliber guys. But I ain't gonna lie, we'll be a team like Auburn.
Do you think this program has a chip on its shoulder?
Oh yeah,
like
for
you
sure.
did?
For sure. Yeah, that's why I came in. That's why I was looking for a team. Looking in for that the team had, like, things like that. That was some of the characteristics I was looking for a team, and I feel like UCF had it, and so that's why I came.
What do you say about this program when you, not just yourself, but you got other guys who were at Auburn who wanted to come join Gus? I mean, what does that say about kind of coming
Gus
here and trying to,
Yeah, it's really Gus. Just like I say, like over the 3-4 years that I've known him, just relationship he's built with his players is something that I think is really important, and something that he's taking more important. That he loved to do, he want to do. And that's something that that I think a lot of guys don't get in. A lot of coaches that are sitting in the head coaching position, that they don't get that kind of affection and relationship type of thing with their head coach. And I think that's the biggest thing.
Was he unfairly, because his getting booted, I guess, at Auburn, was that unfair? I mean, did you feel like that was kind of unfair for him?
I honestly did, because it was COVID year. Like, everybody had a bad year. We didn't even, it was. But hey, it's a business, so you have to look at it like that. But I honestly think, he should have got another year because of the COVID. Everybody had a bad year.
Big Cat Bryant talking about Auburn and Gus Malzahn.
Well, bad could describe his career so far, too. Especially when you do a Bush League thing like, I don't understand. Look, man, I think that's kind of a trash take to just, throw your old team under the bus like that.
And say that this UCF team could beat them and Ole Miss.
I mean, first of all, Ole Miss would just drill their ass. Okay? I'm sorry. I know Ole Miss is bad defensively. I understand that, but they would drill Central Florida. And they would probably run right at Big Cat, because you can count on maybe one hand how many plays he made in 3 years at Auburn. I mean, come on. The guy came in as a highly ballyhooed prospect.
Yep.
And he should have been, if he was so good, he'd be turning pro last year. The guy wasn't any good. And, I mean, if you're going to have somebody nickname you in the program Big Cat, make a few plays. I mean, I wish UCF would play Auburn, and I'd run at his ass the first play of the game and bust him in the head and watch Tank Bigsby put a freaking cleat right in the middle of his chest. Of course, then he'd probably claim he was held or something. But give me a break. That guy's a clown. He couldn't play dead in a B-Western. He better hope he has a good year at UCF to get drafted. Otherwise, you better start selling insurance in Orlando, pal.
256-576-4977.
Look, I don't like guys that run their mouths that can't make any plays. Okay.
I do think that is classless, though, that he did mention, yes, we could beat Auburn and we could beat Ole Miss. I get it. And I get it. He's probably angry that Auburn let Gus Malzahn go.
I mean, he could have stayed at Auburn.
He could have. But the thing is
clown.
Gus Malzahn and Auburn, I think, needed to be separated anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think Gus had run his course.
Yes.
I mean, they've brought him, Big Cat in there, Marco Damio, some coaches from his Auburn staff as well, some support staff. I mean, I will say this: when you talk to guys that have played for him, he has good relationships with his players. There's no doubt. I think Gus knows how to treat his guys and things of that nature. I think he's got some flaws as a coach. I think he's kind of predictable offensively. It's going to be interesting to see if he can kind of rejuvenate himself at UCF. But again, I just Big Cat Bryant, give me a break. I mean, the guy wasn't that good. I mean, he's been overhyped the whole time. It's been more hype than substance. I don't remember many game-changing plays from him. And so we'll just have to see. Maybe he'll have a big year at UCF. Maybe he'll be the defensive player of the year in the AAC. He needs to salvage his career, which has been underwhelming, to say the least.
All right, 256-576-4977. Coming up in the second hour, we will talk to Jason Caldwell, not about Big Cat Bryant, but about the Auburn Tigers getting ready for fall camp and the recruiting update with Auburn. We'll have Jason Caldwell on in the second hour. Speaking of fall camp, we are less than 24 hours away. well, maybe just a little over 24 hours away. From both Alabama and Auburn, Drew, reporting. Well, they're reporting today. They practicing for the first time tomorrow. So a little over 24 hours away from both Alabama and Auburn hitting that practice field for the first time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be exciting for both sides. Alabama, they've got some very interesting battles going on. For me, I've said this, and I'm not trying to be trivial, but it was the weakest link in the spring was punter. I want to see Jack Martin from Troy. You want to see James Burnup, the Australian, see if he can make an impact. Certainly, Ty Perine is still there. And then, of course, as is Sam Williams. So they've got some punters competing. Jack Martin, to me, is the most intriguing because of what he did at Troy. Can he carry that over to the University of Alabama? He was one of the best punters in the country last year. And then the offensive line, J.C. Latham. Is he ready to take over at right tackle? Can he beat out Damian George? I thought the most interesting soundbite from Nick Saban in the main media room was Javian Cohen. He talked about him being the front runner at left guard, coming off some injuries, but very talented young man, sophomore from Central of Phoenix City. If he's the left guard, Ekiyor missed the spring, which means he's going to come back at that right guard slot. You got Chris Owens as a anchor and a leader in the pivot at the center position, and then of course the freak, who I think is a top 5 pick, Evan Neal at left tackle. But J.C. Latham, if he can follow along the path of these other elite freshman offensive tackles and impact transfers like a James Carpenter who came over from junior college, like Cam Robinson, like Jonah Williams. Those guys all had great improvement, from the spring to the fall and getting used to the speed of the game and being able to play at a high level right away. That's what's going to be the key for J.C. Latham. I want to see that. Damian George got a lot of reps in the spring at both right tackle and right guard. I think he's going to be a right tackle. He's a road grader type that Nick Saban likes, but J.C. Latham is a freak athlete. And then Tommy Brockermeyer. Is he going to push, at one of the tackle spots? Are they going to move him inside to let him compete? We'll see. And then a guy like Tommy Brown, who I know Wes is really high on, a guy that is going to compete inside at one of those guard slots. But, again, Javian Cohen is probably the front runner according to Nick Saban, but Tommy Brown, I think, will also push at that left guard spot.
All right, so once again, Alabama and Auburn will practice for the first time tomorrow. We will delve into all of that tomorrow because today Nick Saban will meet the media ahead of tomorrow's practice, so we'll break down his words tomorrow and what he had to say as Alabama and Auburn get ready to kick off fall camp. Josh Heupel is getting a lot of praise because he is letting the media visit with his assistant coaches and players to conduct interviews, a different breath of air from what Jeremy Pruitt did. Yesterday, Clark Lee allowing Vanderbilt practices to be open, Drew, not just for 10 minutes, but for the entire practice.
Brand.
If you wanted
that's what that's about, man. It's about brand. You're trying to give people access to your program to make it better.
For the entirety, usually it's 10 minutes. Usually you get to watch a glorified stretching period or them throw the ball around for about 10 minutes. It will be that way tomorrow at Alabama. Media will get to view about 9 minutes, 10 minutes of practice. We don't know what Brian Harsin will do, but I imagine it'll be about the same thing. Gus Malzahn would let people in for one day, and then that would be it. You would get 1 day of practice really in shorts. You'd get 1 day of practice in pads, and that'd be it. That's all you would get to see for fall camp. Clark Lee at Vanderbilt allowing the media to be in there in its entirety for all that practice.
Yeah, they are, and I think that's a good thing. I was really impressed with Clark Lee at SEC Media Days and the things he had to say. Of course, we got a chance to speak to James Clemens standout Davian Davis, and that was great stuff. And he called the Davian, the heartbeat of their program. That's significant. For a young man that I watched develop under Wade Waldrop and that staff. And then hearing also, just to piggyback on that, and Alabama perspective, but also James Clemens, LeBron Ray having a great summer. We'd like to see him stay healthy, make more plays than Big Cat Bryant, and end up in the NFL, which I think he could be. And I think watching him, I think he could be, like last year, I thought Fedarian Mathis was the most improved defensive lineman on the team and made a huge impact. Well, this year that could be a LeBron Ray and could help take that defensive line to the next level, make them at least 2 deep, try to develop some, even with John Marion Latham and some of those other, and maybe Stephon Wynn, maybe even 3 deep along that defensive end category and along the DL. So that would be huge for the University of Alabama. And then I think also, my final take on Bama before we wrap this up, is that other third thing I'm looking for is, can Jalen Armour-Davis continue what he did in the spring? Can he lock up that corner slot Surtain vacated, as he's going to be with the Denver Broncos now, probably be a candidate for Rookie of the Year in the NFL? Or can a guy like Kool-Aid McKinstry live up to a nickname, make plays, and be an impact freshman?
All right, that is some good Alabama update right there ahead of their first practice tomorrow. We need to get a break in. When we come back to kick off hour number 2, we're going to have your Olympic update. We've got basketball, baseball to update you on, plus the Pac-12 still not resting, and one U.S. senator is calling for an investigation. We'll explain it all when we return.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. So, 82% of you listening will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. 82% of you will note that if you're hiring, ZipRecruiter finds qualified people for your job. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And 82% of you will remember that you can try ZipRecruiter for free, but you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Never mind fall and football being in the air. We want to taste it.
And never mind not being able to tailgate at the game. Let's create the ultimate barbecue experience in your own backyard.
You said it, Foster Brooks, and that's where Brooks & Collier comes in. Big selection of outdoor furniture.
And a big selection of grills and smokers like Traeger, Big Green Egg, Blaze, even DCS, and more.
This is the good stuff.
And Paul, we definitely got the accessories. And remember, we deliver. Visit us at 813 Meridian Street and shop online at brooksandcollier.com.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Sounds like we got 2 wrecks now working on 565 eastbound just west of Wall Triana. Had injuries in one. Got a report of a head-on collision, Winchester and Moores Mill. That one reported with injuries. Still might be trying to clear one in Limestone County at Jefferson and Elm. Lose up to 4 sizes in 4 weeks with 2030 Fast Track. Just in time for the beach. 2030huntsville.com. Captain Nick in the Jordan Lane Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
From the WZDX Pinpoint Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Isolated showers are going to be possible once again this afternoon. Still, with that in mind, we get to enjoy plenty of sunshine. Temperatures a bit below seasonal norms. Highs only climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We should be in the lower 90s this time of year. Dropping into the upper 60s and lower 70s through the overnight early into your Friday morning. Not going to be as cool as it has been the last couple of mornings. More cloud cover on Friday. Friday looks like it's going to bring the best opportunity for a little more in the way of widespread rain. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Simple Green is perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new. Visit them at simplegreen.com.
Braves and Cardinals tonight. Atlanta slight favorites on the road, -115 on the money line. St. Louis at -105. The over-under 9. Drew Smiley getting the start for Atlanta against J.A. Happ for the Cardinals. The UFC heavyweight title on the line Saturday in Houston at UFC 265. Derek Lewis in his hometown will look to upset Cyril Gane, carrying a perfect 9-0 record into the bout. Gane the -350 favorite, Lewis +265. Our first glimpse of the 2021 NFL season is tomorrow night with the return of the annual Hall of Fame game. The Dallas Cowboys will face the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh a 1.5-point favorite, the over-under 33.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Welcome to Talkin Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
All right, it is hour number 2 of Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. And in case you missed hour one, a big thank you to our listener, Brandon, who has hooked us up with our Moron of the Year awards. So we actually have a plaque now to display our Moron of the Year award.
Hey, we'll let people call in if you want to nominate somebody. Jeff's getting a bunch of nominations.
Jeff has got a lot, but the inaugural Moron of the Year award for 2020 went to Dan Woken of the USA Today. So Dan Woken got the inaugural award, but if you want to nominate somebody for 2021, feel free to do so. 256-576-4977. We're going to take nominations between now and, well, I guess the end of the year. Kevin Warren could be on there. Jeff from the Borough could be on there.
Jeff from the Borough's already on there. He's already been nominated.
He's been nominated. All right. So those are that is how we start our number 2 here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Also, going on as well, the Olympics continue to go on. Team USA on the hardwood while you were sleeping. They did get a win over Australia, 97-78. They had to work for it a little bit. They were cold shooting.
But they beat Australia this time.
But they beat them when it mattered the most. So they move into the gold medal game. And the question is, were they going to play France or were they going to play Slovenia? Slovenia, I should say. France gets by Slovenia 90-89. Luka Doncic.
Another chance for some revenge.
Yes. Luka Doncic suffers his first international loss. So it's Team USA and France playing in the gold medal game on the hardwood. Baseball going on right now in the 8th inning. Bottom of the 8th inning. Team USA taking care of Korea 7-2. So if Team USA wins this game, they too will be in the gold medal game in baseball. As far as women's soccer go, they knock off Australia 4-3. They win the bronze medal. So there is your Olympic update from Tokyo.
Yep, some good stuff from the Americans. And as you said, right now, they are looking to eliminate Korea and from gold medal contention, get to the gold medal game, potentially a rematch with Japan. We saw that game the other day, a gut-wrenching 7-6 extra inning loss for the Americans after leading 6-4 in the ball game. So they'll still have a chance to win that gold. Same way with the U.S. basketball. USA basketball got a chance to win the gold now and atone for that loss to France where they blew a late lead. So Kevin Durant, all those guys, and Josh Majette, who's been a part of this journey, got a chance to win a gold medal, and that's what you want to see for the U.S. and it would make people forget about those exhibition losses and, of course, the loss in the preliminary round as well. But again, USA basketball with an opportunity, they've earned it. Good job to get some revenge against Australia. And now, vive la France.
All right, so we move on back to college football talk. And every day something keeps coming up about Texas and Oklahoma and the SEC. Now it's making its way out to the Pac-12, Drew. Washington State president, let me make sure I get his name right, Kirk Schultz, went on the record and he went on the record and said a lot of people are now very concerned about the predatory nature of the SEC. More presidents are talking, and there's a lot of back and forth.
Give me a break with all this. I mean, Oklahoma and Texas, they according to what we're hearing, they contacted the SEC. Stop whining with this crap.
This is the Pac-12 commenting on the predatory.
Oh, who cares? They suck anyway. They need to just go ahead and merge with the Big 12 and decide to commit to football. Good grief. Y'all hurry up, become a super conference, and we're going to end up with 4 of those, in my opinion. Yeah. And then, try to get better and actually be a factor in the playoff and not lose 42-3.
He says if we add teams just to try to keep up with somebody else, but those teams don't grow our revenue base, do we really need to add them?
Just be cool. I mean, come on. This is what this is right here.
The moron of the war.
I mean, you're making a case for yourself with this piss poor leadership.
Oh, it gets even better. This next one gets even better. And it comes courtesy of U.S. Senator Roger Marshall, a Kansas Republican.
This ought to be great.
He has drafted a letter to U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland. All he's doing is asking for the Department of Justice to launch a formal investigation.
Why are you wasting taxpayer money with this stuff?
Into ESPN.
Secure the borders. Fight this COVID. What are you doing? I mean, these guys,
he has drafted a letter.
Like politicians bloviating, man. And speaking out of both sides of their mouth. I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. Don't waste time with this stuff.
He says, I write today to ask the Department of Justice investigates ESPN's role into the potential destruction of the Big 12 Conference. And if any competitive or illegal behavior occurred relating to manipulating the conference change or ESPN's contractual television rights. They put it up to the Department of Justice.
Definitely on the list for Moron Award. I'm sorry. Oh, my goodness gracious.
As if the Department of Justice has anything else better to do than to look at this.
Oh, geez. I just, you can't make this stuff up, man.
I mean, folks, it is 2 college football teams going to another conference.
Now
that
hiring.
is it.
Everybody's hiring. Help people find jobs.
That is it. That is all it is. It is Texas and Oklahoma going to a new football conference.
Whine, whine, whine. That's all it is. Let's whine about it.
Oh.
Be proactive, not reactive. Don't waste people's taxpayer money. Good Lord.
256-576-4977. That is the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. You can get in on the conversation this morning.
Jeez,
I mean, people need to move on. That is for sure. Now, Mike Oresco, he is the AAC commissioner. Group of 5 commissioner Mike Oresco. They had their media days yesterday, Drew, and here's what he had to say about his conference. Because remember, Bob Bowlesby put his conference in the spotlight by saying that they were also trying to poach teams out of the Big 12 as well, and he's got to defend his conference.
Yeah.
Our opportunities with expansion and conference realignment may be bolstered by our stability and unity in a less stable and an evolving landscape. But I want to emphasize, we are not looking at realignment and we are not out there attempting to take teams. While ESPN is a valued partner, I have to take a moment to address some accusations that have been made either directly or indirectly, against our conference. Our conference, and I say this categorically, our conference has never strategically aligned or plotted, if you will, with ESPN to influence conference structures. We wouldn't do that. ESPN has never done that and would not do it. We do consult with our television and business partners on issues related to our conference. Everyone does, of course. But any suggestions or statements that we colluded with ESPN with regard to the structure of any other conference, it's a completely unfounded and grossly irresponsible accusation. And that's all I really have to say about this at this point.
So there you go. That is his response to Bob Bowlesby throwing his conference into the mix.
Well, and again, I just, the Big 12, they're in a tough spot. They lost their 2 cash cows, so they don't really know what their future is. Bob Bowlesby may not have a job. I mean, their league could end up falling out of the Power 5, so to speak. But the way to salvage that, to me, we've talked about this from the jump, is to merge with the Pac-12. The Pac-12 is irrelevant right now. Even brands like USC, they're not even in the conversation for the college football playoff. Mario Cristobal is out recruiting them. Mario Cristobal is out coaching them. Mario Cristobal has built the best program there, and we all know why, because he worked for Nick Saban. So I'm just saying they need some relevance, and it would be a great brand of basketball. Pac-12 plays great basketball, thanks to your boy Bill Walton, who
one of these days we're going to get him on the air.
That we had during SEC Media Days didn't have anything to do with football. I've got to give a shout out to my guy AP, a.k.a. Arnold Stedham, who told us he had the pleasure of interviewing Bill Walton earlier this summer, and Bill Walton talked for 20-something minutes straight without taking a breath, basically, and no commercial.
Well, we're going to get him on the show one of these days. That is my goal, but we digress. Let's get to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Floyd is with us. Good morning, Floyd.
Floyd, what's up, man?
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We're doing good.
Can you talk for 20 straight minutes without taking a break?
I couldn't do that when I was young, much less now. You were saying that was the Washington State president that was worried about people bringing revenue into the conference?
Yeah, he said, the Washington State president said, if we add teams just to try to keep up with somebody else, but those teams don't grow our revenue base, do we really need to add them?
Jeez Louise.
And this is the president of a school in Pullman, Washington, that's been had the schools from L.A. and other large cities carrying them for years.
Yep.
And he's worried about colleges bringing less jobs. Okay, I understand that.
Yep. That's that one, and they call him one of the most influential presidents in the Pac-12.
Oh my goodness! Wow. Well, that tells you a lot about the Pac-12. I mean, Pullman, Washington, of all places, and they're worried about somebody from the Big 12 coming in or somebody from somewhere else that's going to bring more revenue or less revenue than they do. Okay. And they just lost their drawing card a couple of years ago in Mike Leach, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Nick Rolovich is there now, coming over from Hawaii. He's going to be in his second year.
Yeah. Okay. I was just wondering there because, Pullman, Washington being the Mecca that it is on the West Coast.
Who?
Yeah,
That's basically what everybody will be asking you. Who?
Yeah.
Unless you really follow collegiate athletics and understand what the Palouse is.
Really? All right, guys.
All right, thanks, Floyd. Yeah, he mentions if we try to add teams to keep up with somebody else, making reference to the SEC, but those teams don't grow our revenue base, do we really need to add them? I mean, you look at anybody in the Big 12 right now that's left, Oklahoma State, Baylor, TCU, Iowa State, well, Kansas probably not.
Well,
Kansas State
is a basketball brand.
Right. Well, yes, Kansas would grow the brand. All of those schools would help the Pac-12 grow their brand.
Yeah.
All of them would.
I think it would. I think it would help them get a more lucrative contract.
It'd help them with their television rights.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it would help in basketball because what is the other sport that makes money? Basketball.
Yeah.
And I think if you add Kansas to the Pac-12, now we don't know if that'll happen. Now Kansas, they've kind of tried to poo-poo the deal going to the Big Ten, but I still think that could be legitimate because it would be a better fit geographically for the Jayhawks if they decided to make that deal. I think Iowa State would be a better geographic fit. Now this is not all what that's all about. It's money.
Right.
But I still think if I'm Iowa State and I'm Kansas, I'll be honest with you. I'm wanting to go to the Big Ten. Because, I know the basketball is better than the Pac-12. I know Bill Walton would have an aneurysm right now, me saying that, but I truly believe that, even though I know the
Pac-12 is the Conference of Champions.
For the 50,000th time. I'm telling you, if Bill's ever on this show, I'm going to write down every time he says Conference of Champions. I'm gonna write that down. I'm going to put a check by it. But and again,
I know that is my one goal for this show is to get Bill Walton on somehow, some way.
Well,
that's my goal.
I'll say this: we need to have Arnold Stedham on to promote the Wishbone Boys, and which is coming up in late August, and he might throw us a bone.
No.
Because if there's one thing, Arnold is like, where's Waldo? He has connections to everyone. I mean, if I could tell you guys some of the stories that I got out of him in SEC media days, that's why when he started talking about Bill Walton, I was like, whoa, come over here, Scott. You gotta hear this.
Yes. Yes. That is my one goal. And I know there's people that listen that cannot stand Bill Walton, and I get it. I totally get it.
Our next
I'm
guest,
not one
Jason
of them.
Caldwell, has to put it on mute. He will not listen to Bill Walton.
I know. There's a lot of people that do that. There's a lot of people that put it on mute when Bill Walton does a basketball game because it's less about basketball and more about Bill. But I just find it entertaining. I'm one of those few that find what Bill Walton does very entertaining. But you're right, though. If Kansas joined the Big Ten, Kansas's basketball brand would elevate the Big Ten. The Big Ten is already, we said this past year that they were the best conference in basketball, but they got to the NCAA tournament and fell flat.
And I think it would help Iowa State basketball.
It would help Iowa State tremendously because it would put them in the Big Ten conference. You would have Iowa State, which they play non-conference now. It means something. They play for a trophy. They try to make it something, but it doesn't mean a ton. It's a great rivalry. But Iowa likes the Iowa with Minnesota, the Iowa Wisconsin, the Iowa Nebraska rivalries better. There be some
natural rivalries though for Iowa State that would be created joining that.
They would get to renew their game with Nebraska, which was always a great contest anyway. They would be in the Big Ten, so you would have an Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa State. It would make geographical sense if they joined the Big Ten, but we'll see where they ultimately end up, and then who knows. We do know that Bob Bowlesby and the new Pac-12 commissioner met yesterday to discuss a potential scheduling alliance or a potential merger, or just to kind of engage the landscape. They did meet yesterday. Nothing came out of it. Nothing was reported out of it. But we do know that they did meet yesterday. All signs are pointing to the Big 12, Pac-12 trying to work something out. So we'll see how that goes. And you did mention Jason Caldwell. He will joining us here in a few minutes as we talk Auburn football recruiting.
And
Auburn
preview fall camp as well.
Yeah, because both of them, Auburn gets started tomorrow. Alabama gets started. Josh Heupel, Tennessee, started a couple days ago. Vanderbilt started yesterday. So a lot of football camps in the SEC kicking off. And say, well, let's get that break in, because when we come back, Jason Caldwell can and will join the show.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Got a wreck at Winchester and Moore's Mill that may still be trying to clear. Couple of wrecks on 565 eastbound west of Wall Triana. One of those had an injury. And we had one in Athens at Jefferson and Elm. It should be about ready to clear. 67 New Brewer High School had an overturned vehicle. Could still be working on it. You get 3 pieces of the crispy tender chicken and a buttermilk biscuit for $4.99 in Popeye's 3-piece snack. Popeye's University in Jordan, 72 in Jeff and North Parkway. Captain Nick in the Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
Chad, cue the cheesy Italian music. So you're in charge of the dinner spot, and the family is a hard group to please. Dad wants award-winning 21-day-age certified Angus beef. Mom craves authentic Italian food like great-grandma. Sissy pretty much won't eat anything but fresh seafood. And old life of the party, Uncle Walter, likes to enjoy a cigar after dinner with some live local entertainment and some killer cocktails. So you think you're in a pickle? Well, you're not. Relax. I'm Tom Chapman, chef at Nick's Ristorante at 10300 Bailey Cove Road, just south of Weatherly. We have all that and more. Our friendly and helpful staff is eager to help you Tuesday through Saturday, starting at 5. So, corral that crazy crew of yours and give us a call at 256-489-8280 or tell them to check us out at nicksristorante.com. I promise you, the gang will all think you're a culinary cruise director of awesomeness if you take them all to Nick's. See you soon. Ciao. Okay, Chad, kill that music.
Nix is for patrons 19 or older.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
You know it and I know it. Sometimes a brand new car or truck just isn't in the budget. That's where we come in. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and I want to talk to you about the advantages of buying a Ford Gold certified used car or truck. These are low-mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties, a 12-month, 12,000-mile comprehensive limited warranty, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Woody Anderson Ford Gold certified vehicles have passed a 172-point inspection by certified technicians and come with a 24-hour roadside assistance too. You'll also get a Carfax vehicle history report and 22,000 Ford Pass reward points to use for future scheduled maintenance or other accessories. Plus, before you leave in your gold certified used car, we'll be sure to give you a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change, even new wiper blades. Gold certified vehicles at Woody Anderson Ford. Hope to see you soon.
This is Wes Neighbor sitting here with Ann Adams. Ann, I understand you have some exciting news.
Yes, Wes, I do. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services was just recognized in the 30th Annual Harris Poll Equitrend as the Real Estate Agency Brand of the Year and the most trusted real estate brand.
That is awesome news, Ann. You know, great companies in Huntsville, Alabama, winning awards is what we want. Is it a great time to list your home?
Yes, it is. The inventory is low and the market is heating up.
And I understand you're also looking for agents.
I am. We are so busy, Wes, we need agents to keep up with the demand.
Ann Adams and Rise Real Estate has been doing business in North Alabama for the last 35 years. If you want to do business with someone you can trust, she has been writing contracts since she was 9 years old. Call Ann today at 256-337-2625.
And now, another out-of-context moment from the Tom Abraham Show that sounds dirty.
I was actually trained as a plumber, so I know my way around a pipe here and there.
Stay tuned for more from Tom on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now more of Talkin Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on your home for Crimson Tide Sports 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Roll Tide.
And just like that, we are back. 8:26 on a Thursday morning. As we mentioned, going to break, we were going to focus our attention on the Auburn Tigers getting ready for a fall camp, a little recruiting update, a little bit of everything. That's exactly how we're going to proceed coming out of the break.
Absolutely. He's one of our favorite guys. He's been a cornerstone of this show as a guest, and he's one of my great friends in the business. And I mean, that's one of the things you do when you do this for a long time. You learn, you get to know people and you get a chance to see them. It was great to see him, in person on Radio Row in Hoover. He was there to cover the Auburn Tigers. He's now unbelievably in his 22nd year. He and Mark Murphy do such a great job as a combination and as a part of that staff with Nathan King and Keith and all the guys over at Auburn Undercover and Auburn 24/7, part of the 24/7 Sports Network. But Jason Caldwell has been good enough to join us this morning on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, and we'll preview some fall camp, and we'll talk about some Auburn recruiting. They've added a couple of pieces in the last several days. to their class as Brian Harsin is putting his stamp on this program. Jason, welcome back to Huntsville. You're with Drew and Scott. How are you, sir?
I'm good, guys. How about y'all?
Doing well, and we'll get this over with. I'm just going to confirm this because we just talked about it in this previous hour, and we've been talking about it today. But I will confirm with the listeners, you do put it on mute when Bill Walton's doing a basketball game, correct?
Oh, absolutely. or not watch it at all.
Yeah, we've managed to work Bill Walton into the show today several times. I mean, we've been all over the place, but and we alluded to the fact that you were coming on, and your love for Bill Walton is on mute.
No, I don't need to learn about whatever they're growing, whatever his thoughts are. I learned nothing about the basketball game itself, so I'm good with it not having any sound.
Well, Jason, what have we learned about Auburn going into fall camp? They are less than 24 hours, maybe just a little over 24 hours away from hitting the field for the first time with Brian Harsin.
Yeah, I think, we know that there's some pieces, how they fit together with the new coordinators on both sides of the ball. To me, there's some things but a whole lot of questions. And, what wide receivers are going to step up and become playmakers or go-to guys. And maybe how that rotation works in that secondary. I think there's a lot of guys, just a matter of figuring out, when and where and who, plays what roles, I think is the key. So, those are the questions I think you have, and how quickly you can get those guys up to speed in camp are question marks. But with a lot of competition, I think we know that's going to be the case, and so I think that's probably the biggest thing.
Well, and Jason, I'm looking forward to just seeing Derek Mason as DC. I thought it was the best hire Brian Harsin made. I know Kevin Steele did a really good job, but Mason knows the league really well. He was really good at Stanford in this role. And then talking to Owen Papo on Radio Row, there was just kind of a gleam in his eye. There's I think a new energy and an excitement for him and the role he's going to play with in this defense. We saw the production just go through the roof for him, nearly 100 tackles last year, 140 plus in 2 years on this Auburn campus. But I think Auburn defensively, to me, going into their opener, that's the identity for this team, I think, until we see the progress of Bo Nix and hopefully a healthy Tank Bigsby.
Yeah, I think you look and you got both starting linebackers returning. You get Chandler Wooten added back into the mix as well. Mentioned, you got Roger McCreary, Smoke Monday, Nehemiah Pritchett. You had in, Deshaun Miller and Darius Knight. And you had in guys back there as well. And Kobe Wood and Derek Hall. You got to me, there's depth on the front. Who steps up as playmakers on the interior? I mean, can you find two guys or three or four that can push the pocket and create pressure in the middle? But I like, you're right about Derek Mason. I think you start talking about, what he can do. I think the guy that's coming from, the kind of that West Coast background, maybe more important than ever to have a guy like that in the Southeastern Conference after what we've seen the last 2 years on how this league plays and how wide open it is now. You almost have to play, and you always got to play up front. You almost have to play back to front nowadays. You got to create pressure and do those things, but man, what you do in the secondary is so important, and that's his strength. And so I think it'll be interesting to see how that translates this year.
Obviously, there'll be some focus on the offense. We know Bo Nix is going to be scrutinized. We know Tank Bigsby will be there to carry the ball, perhaps the best running back in the SEC. Who's going to catch the ball for Auburn?
That's probably my biggest question. Is, the wide receiver group. To me, you got to find out who's going to step up. Can Demetrius Robertson step in? No spring practice. He's experienced, but can he step in and become one of those guys? But you look, and there's talent, and a lot of young players, but nobody has been called on to be a go-to guy to this point. Look at Kobe Hudson, Xavier Capers, Elijah Canyon, Javarius Johnson, Malcolm Johnson Jr., all those guys that, second year, basically. Got some experience last year. Then you got a guy like Shedrick Jackson is back as kind of the old guard guy on the roster, but hasn't ever been called on to really be a prolific receiver. And all those guys, and you figure out, okay, who's going to be a guy that steps up and maybe takes over one or two of those spots. But I think we saw in the spring that they're prepared to use the tight ends more, maybe multiple tight ends, and so I think that's a way to offset some of that.
And we're talking to Jason Caldwell, inside the Auburn Tigers and Auburn Undercover, part of the 24/7 Sports Network. Offensively, Jason, who's maybe somebody that's under the radar that we haven't talked about much? Because, of course, I think Tank Bigsby is going to be the heartbeat of this offense. I think he's the best back in the league, potential 1,500-yard rusher. First-team All-SEC type guy. And we know, of course, we need to see progress on Bo Nix, but who is someone offensively that we're not talking about in your mind that you're hearing could break out?
Yeah, I mentioned one of my guys is Malcolm Johnson Jr., speedster that graduated high school early and played last year. And it's not like a guy that graduates early, came in January. He graduated high school a year early. He was just 17 years old. He's still his class are the guys that are incoming now. But he came in a year early because his state in Virginia didn't even play football. And he said, "Well, I'm going ahead and getting started." And so he got a little experience last year, but what he got was strength and conditioning in the weight room and being on the campus for a year. He's one of the faster guys on the team. I think he's the guy that has that chance now because, man, it's tough enough to do that any year, but last year was almost impossible to expect him to come in and do anything in a COVID year like that. So I think he's the guy that has a chance to step up at a position like we just talked about where they're going to need somebody to be a playmaker.
Mm-hmm. And I like his position coach, Cornelius Williams. I liked him when he was at Hoover High School. He had a very good career at Troy. And just the things you hear about his climbing the coaching ladder, that was as far as I talked about Derek Mason defensively as a hire I liked. I liked this move as well offensively.
Yeah, Cornelius, is the guy that you're right. Hey, and they're becoming more and more of those guys that I covered when they were recruiting.
There you go.
But what I like about him is he's a guy that seems like he's a much older coach.
Yeah, old soul. Yeah.
Normally, these guys that are young guys are really excitable. They're and he can do that, but he's a pretty calming, teaching guy, and I think that's what you got to have at wide receiver position. You got to have somebody that teaches the position. There's so much involved, and I think especially for these guys now, it's going to be a different wide receiver position than they played last year. Last year it was pretty basic for them in terms of what they're doing, route running, those kind of things. Now they're going to be called on to read the defense, figure out and get on the same page with the quarterback and understand what's going on defense. Those are things I think he can help with coming from Troy. I think he played that college, he coached it, he's been there, and so he's got the toughest job on the coaching staff, in my opinion, to handle in preseason practice for sure.
And then this offensive line, before we talk Bo Nix, we're not trying to bury the lead here because everybody wants to know about Bo's development, but the O-line is very important. Your outlook right now going into fall camp.
Actually, we talked about the difficulty for a guy like Malcolm Johnson Jr. last year. Just think about it, if you look back on the offensive line, you got to replace everybody except for Nick Brahms. Okay, you don't have spring practice. You have not only a new coordinator, but a new offensive line coach again. Some of them, that was their third O-line coach in 4 years. And then because of the protocol that they went through, for much of the camp, they didn't have the same five guys together because guys were quarantined, those kind of things. And so it took them probably 4 or 5 games to kind of find a little bit of a groove and they did that for a few weeks. And Tank Bixby gets hurt, and it impacts the offense tremendously. Then Alec Jackson and Brandon Council. So they never really were able to kind of put everything together. Well, now they've had a full year. They've gotten experience. It's not ideal because I don't think you have a left tackle. Austin Troxel would have been that guy had he not, gone through the injuries he's had. He's still a pretty viable candidate there. Alec Jackson got some experience. You got Brodarius Ham, and you look at Nick Roms in the middle, and Tashawn Manning, and DeAndre Jones. You've now got 8 players that have starting experience. It's the complete opposite that you had from last year. You've got a lot of those guys now. I think they've got a chance to probably be the surprise group, the entire team, when you look at how this team wants to be built. Run the football with Tank Bixby and Sean Shivers and be a little bit more straight ahead, throw the tight end, do those things. It probably fits really well. And I think they've got a chance to probably maybe surprise a little bit in the fact that they've heard for now over a year they're the weak spot in Auburn's offensive line, this and that. They're a physical group, and they showed that last year, especially when Tank was healthy. You could see the difference in the team. I think they'll want to go out with something to prove, I think, and I think like any offense, and especially probably with this group, you just avoid third and long. Avoid those, obvious passing situations where teams kind of tee off, and then I think you stay ahead of the chains. I think they have a chance to do some good things.
And obviously when you talk Bo Nix, it's the evolution of him taking that next step forward. But that next step, I'm sure, is if that offensive line, which we've been talking about, is able to provide that protection, it's him trusting that protection.
Yeah, I mean, that's they step in it for sure. I think being able to get to the line of scrimmage and get out of a bad play, put yourself in a more favorable position is some of it. I think using those tight ends, having guys, it's all of it for me. When I think about the last 2 seasons, the image I have of Bo Nix is, and people will have different images or different opinions on the same image. For a lot of fans, it's going to be watching him leave the pocket. For me, it's watching him leave the pocket and nobody coming back to the football.
Mm-hmm.
And thinking about how much more completion percentage he would have had there been outlet receivers for him to throw to. And I think that's part of it. You got to stay in the pocket, but you also have to have guys that understand, man, when your quarterback leaves the pocket, you got to come back and get the football. And that wasn't really a part of the offense the last couple of years. And I think about, how few times Bo Nix was sacked, how many times he was out there running and there was nobody to throw the ball to. And so I think it's an evolution of everything to do with the offense, him maturing, a different style of offense. I think it's all rolled into one, and looking forward to see how it all comes together.
And Jason, we wanted to pivot real quickly. This is outstanding insight into Auburn's fall camp, which will begin tomorrow under first-year coach Brian Harsin. But recruiting, it's very important. They've been able to add a big piece to the defensive line, and we wanted to get your opinion on first Caden Story, his brother Christian Story at Alabama, but we've seen this with the Rogers brothers in the past. We've seen families split. It's rare, but again, very talented family, and Caden Story, defensive end, going to Auburn.
Yeah, Caden's a guy that I don't know how long I've been watching him. It seems like kind of the same thing it was with Bo Nix, where I've been watching him since probably in 8th grade. Been knowing the family a long time since Cliff was at Auburn High School as an assistant. So
there you go.
I was fortunate enough to be a part of his day and help them kind of shoot the commitment videos. So that one had been in the works for quite a while. I think he knew it and had kind of set it up for that day. But just a kid, sometimes a kid, it's more than X's and O's. Sometimes it's more the coaches. For him, it was, and hey, I'll tell you this, his dad told me last fall, he's like, everything, all these teams, he said, I think it's going to end up being Auburn. And this was probably in October sometime. Just that he knew that kid and maybe how important it was for him to maybe play at a place that he was comfortable with, he grew up with, close to home, all those things. And in the end, I think that was big for Caden Story. But kid that has great hands. I think one of those guys you think about, I think about a guy like Colby Wooden. I think a very similar guy. I think a guy that winds up being maybe that strong side end that can move inside on third down, can stand up a little bit. I think he has the athleticism to do those things, especially when he transitions into a college strength and conditioning program. Because remember, think about this program. They lost their field house to a fire, a little over a year ago. So, when I go shoot video of Caden Story, it's in a church that's being renovated, and they allowed them to set up some strength and conditioning, some weight equipment in one of the areas of that church building that's being renovated, and that's where Glenn High School is working out right now. That's their field house. And so a guy like that, I think, has so much more to give, I think, down the line.
Yeah, that's a great
Jason
point.
Caldwell with us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Jason, you ready for gymnastics?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's going to be able to get in the building. I think they're probably the fire marshal will have to come in and close everything down by the time they get rolling with Finley Lee on campus.
Yeah, that's going to be
exciting
unbelievable.
Time.
Yeah, what a great athlete coming to Auburn that the people are going to be able to see compete. That's an Olympic champion, going to be in the SEC, crazy, and eventually we could see her here in Huntsville as part of SEC gymnastics. But my final question for you, because I wanted to ask you about this kid too. You do such a great job of getting to know these families and covering it. But talk about this young guy, safety Jacoby Albert, committing. I know he was someone that his film kind of exploded last spring, and I know Michigan, Maryland, Auburn, but he's another nice piece. Just talk about him committing as well.
He is. Two-way player, like a lot of guys are in high school. And you watch him and you go, it easily has seen him being a wide receiver on the next level, as a slot receiver, those kind of things. He doesn't have ideal safety size, 5'11", 175 now. Probably ended up playing at 5'11", 185 or 190. But when you look at how the game has changed, to me, the safety position, those you're not going to see guys like we've seen in the past. Very rarely. Jamian Sherwood's a guy that, when you look, Auburn had him as a safety the last few years. He goes to the NFL. Immediately, what do? Move to linebacker. You got to be able to cover in the secondary. That's the main thing you got to be able to do nowadays. You got to turn and run. You got to flip your hips, and that's even at the safe spot. And I think that's what you look at where this thing is transitioning a little bit is finding safeties that can cover a ton of ground, that can cover in man situations, and I think he has the speed to be able to do that. So I think it's a really good pickup.
Great stuff. Well, really good information and conversation from Jason Caldwell. Inside the Auburn Tigers, they're going to have blowout coverage of fall camp starting for Brian Harsin and Auburn coming up this week, and also, of course, recruiting. As you've heard, just outstanding insight into Jacoby Albert and Caden Story, who he's known since he was in 8th grade. Well, Jason, thanks. Let everybody know how to follow you, Mark, and the rest of the staff over there. And we're really looking forward. Football's back.
Yeah, you can check us out, like I said, autigers.com, part of the 247 network there, Auburn Undercover. We'll get you there as well. And also follow me on Twitter at ITATJason. And started off Players Report today. We'll have thoughts from Brian Harsin later this afternoon. And then tomorrow we'll have actual football to watch. We'll have a couple of viewing periods to see the team with in the morning and in the afternoon with some split times for the young guys and older guys. So we'll have photos, video from tomorrow. Get it rolling.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Jason Caldwell helping us go to break. Let's get to break. When we come back, going to wrap up our 2-hour show on a Thursday morning.
You're listening to Talkin Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Tom Luganbill here for Woody Anderson Ford. When I was in the Tennessee Valley, one of the things that impressed me the most was the quality of the people. People like Bobby White and his team at Woody Anderson Ford. And now you can experience the tremendous new service lanes and showroom at Woody Anderson Ford, at Jordan and Sparkman, or just stop by for breakfast or lunch at Henry's Mustang Cafe. And in Madison, visit Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, just south of 72. Like a great college football tradition, always there. Woody Anderson Ford.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Got a couple of major backups on 565. There's two wrecks out there. One's just west of Huntsville International. That one's got a pretty good stack up. Then it looks like back about Greenbrier, they're moving you over into the right lane. That traffic backs up all the way back to the 565 interchange. Pulaski, Pike, and Bobo sections are no injury. Winchester and Moores Mill had an injury involved. Jefferson and Elm in Limestone County should be clear now. Routine care to heart failure. Dr. Randall Burns and the team at Huntsville Heart Specialists have the expertise to care for all matters of the heart. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
This segment of Talkin Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Let's get right back to it. 8:52 on a Thursday morning. And just a little bit ago on CBS This Morning, you could have seen that on WHNT 19. This is what you heard.
Kool-Aid, what's up, man? I just want to say congratulations, and also I want to let you know that you have also won USA Today's Best Male Athlete of the Year award, too. So congratulations, man, bringing home 2 awards from the High School Sports Awards show. I just want to wish you luck at Alabama. I was just talking to O.J. Howard, a fellow tight end here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he wanted me to tell you, he says, what's up? He's a fellow Crimson Tide just like yourself right now. So congratulations, man. How does it feel? You excited?
I'm very excited, man. I'm thankful to get on the award from you, and I'm thankful for you and tell OJ I said, hey, how you doing?
That was Rob Gronkowski.
Kool-Aid McKinstry, the freshman, we just talked about him earlier in the hour, competing for that open corner spot. Could be the punt returner. Guy likes the lights. 2 huge awards, and being the Male Athlete of the Year nationally.
For the USA Today High School Sports Award.
Wow, that covers the United States of America right there, and have a future Hall of Famer like Rob Gronkowski, arguably the greatest tight end in NFL history, definitely on the short list. But what a thrill for that young man.
All right, 256-576-4977. You do have a little bit of time to get in on the show this morning if you want. Today is your last day to grab your pre-sale tickets to Elevate the Stage. That is the gymnastics event coming in. It will feature Auburn, Alabama, Arkansas, and Georgia's gymnastics squads.
And an Olympic champion we just talked about.
Yep, Sunisha Lee will be here in Huntsville. And so make sure you get that. It'll be Tuesday, August 3rd. That's the pre-sale. It goes off at 11:59 today. Noon is your last time. So today's your last day to get the pre-sale tickets to Elevate the Stage 2021 or 22. I can't remember exactly when it goes off. I know Mark Russell and
they're doing
and
a great
Brooke
job.
Izzo, they're going to be mad because I can't remember the date.
Well, I mean, still,
I can't remember the date.
They were able to get this due to what they were able to do.
Yes.
With the SEC Gymnastics Championships. It was a rousing success even during the COVID pandemic. What a great job Huntsville did hosting that event, and now will be elevating the stage with some outstanding talent from Alabama, Auburn, and all those young ladies coming to Huntsville.
All right, we are just about done with our show for the day, but some news. ESPN did put out their preseason power rankings real fast. Alabama #1, as you might imagine, followed by Oklahoma, Clemson, Georgia, Ohio State, Texas A&M, Iowa State, Oregon, Notre Dame, and North Carolina. Those are your top 10 teams according to the ESPN preseason power poll. Florida checks in at number 12. LSU checks in at number 14. Miami, Alabama's opening day opponent, will check in at number 15. Kind of scrolling on down the list, Auburn will take on Penn State later in the year. They have Penn State ranked number 20. Texas at 21. Coastal Carolina at 22. Louisiana Raging Cajuns at 23. Ole Miss at 24. And Arizona State rounds out your top 25.
Need to get us some Raging Cajuns gear, man. I'm telling you.
Billy Napier.
Yep. Billy Napier and the Neighbors brothers.
That's right. Connor and Wesley both down there
reunited
at
and
Louisiana.
It feels so good for the second time.
Sing that one.
I will not. I'm not going to. Hey, I will give Jeff from the Dumbo credit. I'm going to have to, because today's take was trash, okay? But yesterday was good.
Yes.
I mean, he sang the Kentucky Fight song so very well. I'll give Jeff credit for that.
All right. And so, just to let you know, I was going through and our 2020 Moron of the Year award, his latest column, Kevin Durant has spent his career caught between standing out and fitting in, but with Team USA, he's in his sweet spot. He's on the verge of becoming the best Olympic basketball player of all time.
Riveting. Keep covering the NBA, Woken. Nobody gives a damn. I just hope they don't embarrass themselves and can at least bring home the gold and get some revenge against France.
He did venture out of quarantine, though, it does look like. He says, now that we are out of quarantine, it's cool to
Oh, my Lord. Did somebody take a picture of that?
4 hours ago, though. He put that 4 hours ago.
He better
said
be
we're out
wearing
of
a mask.
Anyway, big thanks again to Brandon for hooking us up with our Moron of the Year awards. We are going to have to hang the plaque in the studio. We have a trophy. Do we give the trophy out to somebody? Is it a traveling trophy?
No, we just take a picture and probably tweet at him or something because we got to keep the trophy. I don't want Brandon to have to keep making trophies and sending it to us.
The plaque is going to be awesome because we can take the plaque every year and add somebody to the Moron of the Year award.
Yeah.
So big thanks to Brandon for joining us. Big thanks, Jason Caldwell, Rich Dutton, the new head coach of the Grissom Tigers. It's going to be fun. High school football around the corner, Drew.
Mark Fleetwood tomorrow talking Hustle High, and a very special guest to end the week.
Yeah, we're going to have the new North Alabama athletics director. Dr. Looney's going to join the show for us tomorrow as we talk North Alabama. We got a lot to visit with him because Huntsville's an untapped market when it comes to North Alabama. There's a lot of alumni here that want to get on board, and was not that way with Mark Linder. They want to get on board here, so we're going to talk to Dr. Looney tomorrow to see how he plans to get everybody on board.
This is our 10 to 12 with Chad Guathney, and then tonight from Bomb Hours, I'll be on with Stephen West. Everybody tune in. Everybody have a great day.
Gooey wing finger
can't
bowl.
Can't do 2 of those in a week, man. I just can't. Look forward to the food tonight, though.
Get some chicken in